Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Before we dive into today's content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and show some love by giving this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, February 18th, reveal that Michael Baldwin will get some alarming news while Summer Newman faces an interrogation. Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott will also make a bold move. So let's discuss what's in store on Tuesday's thrilling episode. First, Victor Newman will have a private meeting with Michael, who'll get updates on the next stages of his boss' vengeful scheme. Although Victor got distracted for a bit due to all the Jordan and Ian Ward turmoil, he surely hasn't forgotten about his goal of targeting Jack Abbott. Michael will grow concerned once Victor revisits his plan to use Jabot to make Jack pay. Although Michael will warn Victor about the consequences of stirring up the feud again, Victor will hold his ground. Meanwhile, Diane and Jack will make a daring move. That could entail settling into a suite at the GCAC, since that's where Jack and Diane are headed to await the Abbott Mansion refresh. Jack and Diane are planned on enjoying some private romantic time, so this could serve as the calm before Victor's storm. Of course, it's conceivable Jack will anticipate Victor's next round of conflict, so he might squeeze in some strategizing with Diane. Jack may presume Victor's going to strike back now that he's on the mend, so perhaps his bold move could involve some preparations. Regardless, our Y&R predictions point to some significant Newman-Abbott hostility erupting in the not-too-distant future. Over with Daniel Romalotti Jr., he'll put Summer through an interrogation. Daniel will grill Summer about her true sentiments when it comes to Kyle Abbott's budding romance with Claire Newman. When Daniel acts like Summer is jealous, she'll assert he's way off base. Summer will try to persuade Daniel that she's fine with Kyle moving on, but Daniel might believe his sister is lying, maybe even to herself. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate Summer's jealousy will indeed become a bigger issue as Claire and Kyle's relationship deepens, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers recap for Monday, February 17th, reveals that Kyle Abbott will be thrown in the lion's lair while Victor Newman investigates Damian Kane for Lily Winters. At Society, Victor and Nikki Newman will have a chilly encounter with Lily, who'll still be harboring a grudge over how they treated her when they went after Chancellor. However, Lily will ultimately admit she's willing to let Victor make things up to her. After Lily says she wants Victor to use his connections and investigate someone, no questions asked, he'll get Damian's name and agree to check into him. Next on Monday's Y&R episode, Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, will have a heart-to-heart with Kyle and explain how essential Victor's approval is to her. Kyle will wonder what'll happen if Claire doesn't get Victor's blessing, but she'll assert she won't walk away from someone who makes her happy, just to appease her grandfather. That said, Claire will acknowledge that she's had a number of miracles in her life, and will hold out hope for one more. Kyle will ultimately propose rescheduling their dinner with Victor, and will point out that he's free tonight. Once Claire joins up with Victor and Nikki at Society, she'll bring up the dinner idea. It'll take some convincing, but Victor will reluctantly agree to sit down for a meal with Claire, Kyle and Nikki later. At the Abbott Mansion, Diane Jenkins Abbott will play with Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, a bit by acting like she's going to give the place a Moroccan vibe, but he'll screw with her right back by acting so nervous. In the end, Jack will confess he's been testing Diane too, and that he's already agreed to allow her Abbott Mansion refresh. Diane will once again assure Jack that she's just making some tweaks, and implore him to trust her vision. Since Diane will want the results of this refresh to be a surprise, she'll tell Jack they need to prepare and have a little getaway at the athletic club. The goal will be to remain out of the way when deliveries are made and let Jack see the full picture in the end. Kyle will tease Jack and Diane a bit about the design updates as they prepare to depart. Once Jack takes one last glance around the living room, he'll head off to the GCAC with Diane. As for Kyle, he'll get a phone call from Claire to confirm they're on for dinner tonight with Victor. Kyle will tell Claire that's super and attempt to be supportive, but he'll mutter about going into the lion's den once they disconnect. At the coffee house, Nate Hastings will ask what's going on when he discovers Audra Charles with Holden Novak on the patio. Audra will pretend like she just ran into Holden, who'll tell Nate that he's going back to Los Angeles with Damien in a few hours. That news will upset Nate, since he'll still want to help Amy Lewis repair things with her son. Holden will have some compassion for Amy, but he'll refuse to torment Damien about something that has to be his decision. After Holden leaves, Audra will also attempt to convince Nate that there's only so much he can do. Since Audra will act like maybe it's time to throw in the towel, Nate will wonder if Holden said something to alter her mind. Audra will deny that and suggest that maybe there's just too much bad blood. But Nate will leave Damien a voicemail and hope for one last opportunity to keep him in GC. When Lily pops up, she'll want to speak business with Nate. Although Nate will agree, he'll warn that he might have to dash off and meet Damien if he calls back. Audra will step away to make a phone call and lash out when Holden reappears for another private conversation. Nevertheless, Holden will press Audra to meet up later and urge her to have just one drink with him. "If I go, I can't leave without seeing you again," Holden will insist. The young and the restless spoilers say Audra and Holden's connection is going to portend trouble, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the YNR drama.